Hey everyone, it's Ray. Welcome to another video. Today I'm doing the third sparked challenge, the third build for the challenge. So I'm doing the beach. I've done the desert and the rustic, and this one is the beach, so that leaves spooky and what was the last? Jungle. I originally intended to do spooky first, but I think I might do that later, but I might not even do it at all. I started it and I just couldn't get it right, so I might do jungle instead of spooky, but I still have the goal to do at least one more. I want to get at least 4 out of 5. The goal would, ideally, I would want to get all of them done, but if I don't have enough time before I leave for vacation, then I won't. And that's okay, because I think that I've done pretty well on the ones that I've done so far. I've tried hard on them, and, I've tried to make them look good. From the front and from all the angles, and have them detailed enough that, other people would see them and have it look appealing to them as well. So that's basically my goal for all of these. And yes, I am doing the same exact thing that I did in my last build. I am doing a waterfall. This time it's different though. It's not the exact same waterfall. First of all, it's on the left side instead of the right side, guys. So it is different. But it is also the debug waterfall from Island Living instead of Discover University. So I thought that, it was different enough, and theoretically, not everyone's going to be looking at only my builds or whatever. There are tons and tons of people who are entering the Sparked Challenge, so it's not like people are going to see two of mine and be like, these are the same, So hopefully it's different enough. I mean, it's a completely different theme, and this one is 100% outside except for the bathrooms, whereas the other one was mostly inside and a little bit outside. So today I didn't focus on building structures as much as I did on doing landscaping, and because of that, it actually took me a lot less time to do this. I was able to build it all and edit it, and now I'm doing the voiceover on the same day. So that was super lucky for me, because usually I take hours and hours, at least 5 or 6 for most of the builds I do, and this one was only 2 to build, I think, and maybe an hour to edit and voiceover. So that's kind of crazy, to think that a build took that small amount of time. So now I'm concerned. I'm oh no, what if this wasn't enough time I spent on it and it's not good enough? But I mean, I thought I accomplished the goal that I wanted to. I made it look the way I wanted it to look, and I'm happy with it, so I thought that was enough. I'm not going to spend more time on it just because I think I didn't spend enough time. That doesn't make very much sense. So most of the time I did spend was just doing the landscaping and stuff. And right now I'm placing this floor piece in the back because I'm trying to change the angle of the picture, because if you do have floor pieces higher up, foundation pieces that are higher up, then it will change the angle, so it's more looking down from the cover picture, and that thing is invisible because the rock is covering it. I do end up taking it out later on though, because when the angle from the build is higher up, then you have these things in the front blocking it, so you could see the palm tree blocking it, and later you could also see the bush that's also in front of the lot blocking it. So I really wish these objects weren't blocking it, but and you just got to deal with what you got to deal with, so it's fine. I just accepted it, and I took the piece out, and I just did it from a normal angle, so it's pretty low, but I still think it looks pretty good. And I've discovered that when you take screenshots and you upload your lot from a certain time of day, that can make the biggest difference in the way the lot looks. So in Sulani, the sunset is prime time to put your build on the gallery or just take screenshots. I think it's the best time, and not all the lots have the specifically pretty sunset, but especially Sulani, it has an amazing sunset, and I recommend doing your screenshots and uploading the builds to the gallery at that time, because it makes the biggest difference in the build, and no other world has this look like Sulani does. So I definitely recommend doing that if you would like to. And so I'm checking it again. The tree's still in the way. I'm kind of getting annoyed, but I'm well, maybe if I cover the front with other trees, it will blend in. But no, I end up, as you know, changing it. But I still wanted, it to look the best it could, at least just from the first kind of sight of it. So here I am doing the bathrooms. I'm figuring out like which layout I want for the bathrooms, and this time I did do equally sized bathrooms for both genders, so it's not super awkward like last time where I had a larger women's bathroom and men's bathroom, but they're equal now, so it's all good. And this is the only indoor area of the whole lot. I have other areas under cover, like in front of this little bathroom building. I do put a few like canopy kind of things and put some furniture under that just for like relaxing stuff. So that's also like under cover, but it's not like exactly inside. So it's basically just the bathrooms that are indoor. And because it's outdoor, I need to make sure that there's a lot of lighting so you can see everything around. Like, it's easy to remember to put lighting inside because it's dark if you like can't see. Like right now it's super dark and it's invisible. Like it's very hard to see everything. So I end up putting in those tiny lights there. But other than that, I mean, it's hard to remember too, because sometimes you don't even turn night mode on when you're building outside, and then you forget that it's super dark. So I did at the end try to make sure that I had enough light, and I changed it to dark. I usually do that at the end of most of my builds, just make it dark, see if everything's visible at nighttime, and make sure there are enough lights so that it is visible. Because I sometimes forget, like in the middle of building, so I always try to make sure at the end. And the subtle saucer lights that I just put in to the bathrooms, good news. You guys have probably already heard this because it came out a few days ago, but there is a new subtle saucer light coming out from base game. I assume it'll be in the next update, and it's the same light, but it has a smaller size and it's less money. So now you don't have to keep sizing it down. I always size it down to the smallest size anyways, so I most likely will be sizing it down even more still because I'm crazy, but I like to be as invisible as possible. I don't know. I just have this thing, a little pet peeve with the ceiling lights where they get in the way and I don't want to see them. But I know it doesn't bother most people, so they just kind of go with it. And after working very hard to line these chairs up super nicely, I do end up taking them out, which is a little frustrating, but you know, it had to be done because I was like, that's way too much white, because I use them also for the dining chairs and I didn't want to be super white. You know, it's on the beach, but white isn't the most natural color, so I was trying to go for more of a wood tone. So the tables and the chairs that I'm placing here, they do stay the same, but I end up replacing the chairs in front of the arch with chairs from Island Living, so the wood tones match, and I think it looks a lot better, and it just kind of fits in better. But this part, you know, it doesn't fit in super well, but I kind of liked the way it looked because it's like, okay, here's a designated party area, and in my mind, like, I want all the tables to just have this, like, tablecloth on it, and the chairs be white, and I just think that it's, like, super pristine, and it just looks so nice. And I also brought some color to it by putting, I love this bouquet, by putting that bouquet. It's from Get Famous. I love it. I always use it. It's, like, my favorite thing ever. I will rarely build something, at least a house, without using that because it's so beautiful and I love it so much. Oh, here I go. I'm like, darn, gotta replace the chairs. And just get ready for this, guys. It's a struggle. Like, I cannot place them straight for the life of me because, first of all, the chairs, I wanted them to be angled towards the center and I wanted it to be two at a time. So it's very hard to make this in a line. You can see they both rows that I make sort of curve into the center. And I'm just like, darn, this is not going to work out. See, look, they're now, by the end of the row, they're just super, super close. So I'm like, okay, I have to find out a way to fix this. So what I end up doing is I place a bunch of long dining tables there so I can make sure that I'm placing these chairs like along a straight line. And it's still not perfect by the end, but I'm like happy with it. I'm happy enough. So I just end up placing them. I hope they're not too close together. I feel like sometimes if the chairs are the front is too close to the back of the other one, then the Sims can't sit there. But I feel like they should be fine because if they can sit in a dining chair that close to a table, like they hopefully will be fine with this. And now that I determined that it is straight enough, I'm going to move on. And I want to have some sort of like a railing on the sides of the rows of chairs here. So I end up sizing down these super cute lights. I think they're the same lighting strips that I used in the very first Spark Challenge I did, the desert one. but I love them so much, and I thought that when they were sized down, they were super cute. So at nighttime, not only were they providing some nice light, but they were also just a really cute decoration and added something to this area. And I wanted an aisle. I didn't want to have to deal with putting floor pieces down because there was no way to put it at this angle. So I ended up using, I think that one, it either came with vampires or Realm of Magic, but I love those little rugs because you can kind of make them as long as you want, like into little runner rugs. So I really liked doing that, and I've used those a lot. So I would recommend getting either vampires or Realm of Magic to be able to use those rugs. They're both fine. I think that the one that I picked just had a better color palette. I wanted it to be kind of this light pink color that I'm using throughout the whole build. But I definitely recommend that you get that if you want some sort of rug like that. You know, you can't always make a rug the perfect length, especially with the width that it is, because most of the rugs are super fixed like that. So it's just a perfect way to kind of DIY your own rug, and I really like it like that. So now I'm looking, and I take out that piece. So now it's gonna not have the tree in the way, and I start placing the plants. And one thing that I realized after doing my Santorini build is that the plants, or like any object really, can only be raised so high. So I started to get like frustrated because I can't have that many plants on the top of the rocks. And what I ended up doing with the Santorini build, and what I also do with this, is for the plants that I want at the super top, I end up sizing them up a lot because it doesn't necessarily make it like taller away from the ground, but it makes it go taller because it's a bigger object. So that made it a lot easier to be able to place these objects, even though they look kind of weird because they're like super huge. Like you see these giant flowers and like giant leaves at the top of the build. But I mean, it's like far enough away. I think it's okay. And it's just a perfect way to get that like green color in throughout all the rocks. I didn't want it to just be like the super dark rock color everywhere. I wanted it to, you know, have some color and pop and look lush, like, you know, you're on the beach, but you're still in this tropical location. So there are going to be palm trees, and I wanted there to be flowers because I wanted this perfect little tropical area to look super nice and colorful. So that's why I went for that. And now I have this dance floor that I moved to the side. I ended up getting rid of that because I'm like, you know what? If Sims are going to dance to music, they're going to dance to music. They don't need a dance floor. And I thought it just didn't really fit in with the sand. Like, theoretically, you can dance on the sand, you know? Like, it's going to be okay. So then I'm figuring out what I want to put here. I ended up putting a fountain just from, like, the original game. I was going to put in my own. I kind of wish I did that because this one looks a little bit off with the theme. But I did like how it had shells. It comes from Get Famous, surprisingly, because it doesn't really match the vibe of the like sea and like the tropical stuff, but it does have the shell, so I really liked that. Maybe if I had done my own, I would have done the little like fish pieces that have the fountain water coming out of them. It looks like they're like spitting out the water, and I thought that was super cute, and I use those sometimes, and maybe I would have put those on the corner there, but I didn't end up doing that, and that's okay. Maybe if I'd redone this, I would have done that, but it's all good. So now I'm figuring out what I want to put here under like the little canopy area. And this actually takes me like a few minutes to figure out, but I do end up combining this canopy with these like sort of dividers that also came with Island Living. So it matches kind of perfectly like with the wood colors and the white curtain and stuff. So I separated into 2 equal parts, and I end up just putting a little table and chairs and couch, and I put a little stool in between each chair. I originally was going to put a side table, but I felt that the stool looks a lot better. I like using it for the use of at least looking like a side table because it's just kind of perfect and it's little and it fits. So I'm almost done now. I'm just doing the lights like I was talking about. Hopefully I will get my other 1 or 2 Spark Challenge builds up in the next few days. Wish me luck. But until then, I will see you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Here are just some final screenshots. And of course, I took them during sunset. Like I said, the prime time to be taking them. But let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.